Good morning, everybody. Today is March 2nd, 2021, and we're going to be taking a look at gold, silver, the S&P 500, and Bitcoin. First things first, let's take a look at gold. Gold had a pretty rough Monday this week. Really bearish candle. Today's open has been was on definitely the lower end, and we've managed to pull ourselves back into a reasonably good spot so far. This candle still has 5.5 hours to go. However, I am still very bullish or bearish on gold. So right now, what I need to see, and this is going to be my continuations, now the lines finally get to move. So this green line right here, if we close a candle below this, I'm expecting more downside, even more. We are in the oversold position, and right now I am also expecting this red line to move right here to the top of this too. So now that we have our line set up, we basically know that if we break below this green line on a closing basis on the daily, we'll accelerate further to the downside. If we can close above this yellow line, we possibly will accelerate all the way to the top where this red line's at, potentially to the top of this channel. Now, we may only do that at the end of this month. And that would make sense to me because that would be an easy way to pull back. The other thing we need to note is that we have a smaller channel here, which is the midpoint of this other channel in this smaller area right here. And we broke down on that. And we have 1, 2, and this is going to be the third candle close below this point. That's a very bearish signal for me and would suggest that we are going all the way to the bottom of this channel. Potentially lower if things get really bad. Now let's take a look at silver. Silver was scaring me the other day. This is silver's weekly chart. The weekly chart is not looking good. The weekly chart is looking actually really bad right now. If I go to the daily was looking terrible at open because we opened the 3 below this 2. And we opened it below this 1. Now we've made a new swing low on the daily. This is really bearish. This is telling me that silver on this chart, not the spot market, can potentially go down all the way to, and now I'm going to start moving some stuff. Silver needs to break here. On that closing basis, this yellow line stays, and this red line now just comes to the top of this 1 right there. This triangle is getting less and less convincing. So there we go. Now we have a little bit of an adjustment. This triangle is getting less and less convincing. The fact that we've broken down into it, we've had one full body close, a second full body close. Now, I don't think there's any more adjustments I can make to this triangle. It's very close already to what I can do. And that's the best adjustment I can make to justify that we didn't close these two back in the triangle. So this is going to be the first candle close back in this triangle if this is the case. And I'll keep this quick adjustment because that allows me to touch this point. And yes, I am breaking bodies, and we did have a breakout followed by another breakout. However, this structure will still maintain itself until I can adjust otherwise. The RSI is not looking good on this chart. The RSI is dipping down. We've already knocked out two higher lows, my bad. On this green line is now invalid. We're going to see if we have a larger trend that we are still supporting, and unfortunately what I see here is that that larger trend was also broken yesterday. So we are going to be paying attention to that. That is not great. We're going to even see a larger trend that we can potentially look to. And we are still maintaining this trend. So if we cross, and here I'll blow it up for you so you can see. This area right here, This is the one that concerns me the most. If we cross below this, well, first of all, we're already out of the bullish territory for me on the RSI. That ship has sailed. If we break below this red trend line right here, that should be green because it should be acting as support, I am expecting to move all the way down to the oversold position. And that'll crash the price on the paper derivatives market of silver, not the spot market. The spot market is very different. All right, S&P 500. I'm still a bull on the S&P 500. We had a little bit of a rough week here. This week is recovering nicely. The daily chart is showing that we've basically gotten above all the moving averages, which is all I needed to see. The RSI continues to tick down, though, so that's a concern. I am not ready to flip over to a bearish posture. However, we are making lower highs on this, and we did make lower lows. So that's a little bit bearish on the daily. The weekly is still looking good. The weekly, however, is starting to diverge. So pay attention to that. Since I have it up, GameStop is just kind of hovering in that 100, 130 range, and we'll see what happens. If it wants to print a 9, it better start going up fast. I don't really have an opinion on that. It's a lot of gambling. All right, so Bitcoin. This is the monthly chart. The monthly chart is looking still really good. We need to pay attention to not that anymore. What we need to pay attention to is the close of this month. And where this month needs to close is above this 41 area. So it needs to close above 45K. Let's just put it there. This is the line that needs to be held in order for us to continue this bullish trend and this not to turn into a more bearish candle. Now, we still have 1 day and 8 hours left for the close of this. I think we can do it in a day and 8 hours. I think we can hold this price above here and then follow up with another move to the upside. Now we're going to be taking a look at the weekly. The weekly chart is still looking good. The weekly chart is looking fine to me. I like the fact that I would call this 4 a bounce off the 7-period moving average, which is a great pullback area. And now I'm expecting this 5 to basically get above the midpoint of this 4 by the end of week. The daily had a monstrous open for our 1 candle. Great move to the upside. The volume, not the best volume in the world. It didn't seem like there were any sellers in that area. I am expecting, however, our price to be in this range. As I've said before, this is kind of the upper and lower bounds of what I'm expecting the price to be, and it's a little high because I haven't tightened up the concept yet of what this is doing. But I'm expecting this move to be roughly at the $50,000 area by either tomorrow or Thursday. You did activate a long trade, so that's the first thing to note. However, one of my things I really despise seeing is a monstrous 1 candle followed by a 2 going above that 1. And that usually is a problem for me, especially on larger time frames, because it's really hard to sit through this if you miss this run-up, because this is a run-up. This is a 10% move just on the day. It's really hard to sit through that entire move and then try and catch it and then get stuck in this position. So I don't like mechanically trading the DeMark. Now, what I am hoping to see is a move all the way up to the top of this channel at 53,000. That is the area I am looking for, because we bounced off the midpoint of the channel, which tells me we probably have enough momentum in us to actually get back to the top of the channel, potentially even break out of it. Now, I'm not going to cross my fingers and pray and hope until I see us starting to close candles above the channel. Then I'll start considering that to be a reality. However, that's just wishful thinking right now. All right, 4 hour. The 4 hour chart. On the 4 hour, we did manage to get our price above $50,000, which is great. We didn't close above there. We got really close to closing above there. So what I'm expecting now is what we're seeing here is consolidation. Now, I do luckily just get to extend my green boxes out on this, on the RSI, and my red box as well, all the way out here. And the reason for that is pretty simple. I like what I'm seeing here. These areas are looking good. This we don't need anymore. We can clean that up. And now we can start looking at a macro trend. And I like that. That's fine. We did break underneath it, but we did come back and manage to close. Now I can... There we go. That's the best one. Comes back for a retest, gets rejected, comes back all the way up. That's the area. All right. So I'm expecting the RSI to potentially come back to this green line, bounce off of it, and come back into this green area. This green area is important to me because it signifies for me some bullish control and some upward momentum in the market. And do I think that we have pulled up far enough for a dead cat bounce? I think we've only hit the 382 so far. I don't think we've gotten to the 618 yet. Yeah, okay, so we're at the 382 really. That's the area we've been playing. We've been trying to get to 50%. I am still looking for this 618 area, this 618 correction area, which is where I'm expecting the full move up to be. Now, the part that I am actually really, really happy about is that we've broken this previous swing high here. We did make a lower low, but we made a new high. We made a higher high. So now I'm waiting to see if this is our higher low. Because if this is our higher low and then we break this, we've actually reversed the trend in the market. And that's important. You know, we did a reversal trend in the market right here, but the position we were in was just precarious on all the indicators, and we hadn't gotten to the point where the MACD had finally crossed over to the positive, which happened right back here. The RSI is in the neutral territory, slowly shifting into the bullish territory, which is also positive. The volume on this pullback right here, this move down, is getting weaker and weaker, positive. And now what I'm expecting to see is a large move up to this 52 area. The only way we can know for sure, though, is when we start breaking this one candle's wick. And I'll show you right here. The minute we close a candle above this one right there, I become much more confident, probably 75% confident that we're going to be moving all the way up to here. Now, if we can close a candle above this red line on top of it, and I'm going to remove the fib so you can get a little bit easier. So if we can close a candle above this Fibonacci, that turns me to probably 90% confidence that we're actually done with the correction and we're moving further up. And we'll probably be seeing $75,000 to $85,000 Bitcoin soon. That's what I would be seeing. And the reason I'm thinking that is because of this. Because now I actually have a place where I can stick my fib lines and really start looking. So the 1618 is my first spot. Now the 100% is 72. The 1618 is 90,000. The 2618 is 120. And I don't really try and deal with the 3618, but the 423 is $166,000. So that's what I'm looking at right now if this is our full bottom. Yeah, okay. That all tracks. Trying to look through that is definitely something else. Okay. So that's pretty much everything about Bitcoin. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I will be back to talk tomorrow. Bye for now.